Hello, I'm Fast Lawyer. I'm with Oculus Rift Reviews. Today we're going to review and play VR Pupil Wandering. Pupil Wandering VR is an Asian-style horror VR game by Spoon Network. It's a Chinese developer and it released on the Steam store on May 7th, 2019 for the HTC Vive, Oculus Rift, and Windows Mixed Reality. It normally retails for $11.99 US. I believe it was on sale for $8.39 on release as part of the release sale. That's where I bought it. I bought it for that sale price. I do recommend this game. I think it's one of the best VR horror experiences out there. But keep in mind, this game is in early access, so it has lots of issues. Before I talk about all the issues, let me talk about the reason why I'm recommending this game, why I think it's one of the best VR horror experiences. I guess it goes without saying, there's not very many good VR horror experiences out there. There's only a few, in my opinion, that are really good, and this is one of them. And the reason is, it's got a really good atmosphere. There's this tense atmosphere throughout the game, and that's from the story being well paced, exploring this ancient haunted house with all the details all around this environment that really add to the immersion that you're there, and this tension that you get from the lantern technique, the mechanic in this game, where your lantern turns red when there's an evil spirit nearby. All that adds to the tension as you're exploring this house. The graphics are really good, and there's lots of nice details all around, and the pacing and everything makes it really super tense, and I was starting to get scared in this game, which is something very rare for me. I normally don't ever get scared in horror games. The English translations were done pretty well, in my opinion. I actually liked the English voiceovers. Obviously, this is a Chinese developer, but I thought it was really well done in English, as far as the translations, as far as conveying the story, and as far as the English voiceovers. I thought they were all well done. And again, the story I really enjoyed, but what brought it a little bit down is that it does end on to be continued, because the story is not finished. Again, it's an early access. Now, the devs do mention in their early access they do plan to finish the story and add more chapters, but they're kind of vague on how much extra content that'll be, and who knows if they'll deliver on their promises. So be aware of that when you're buying early access. You're basically buying a promise. But for right now, given the quality of the content, I am recommending this game. The other thing that I really enjoyed about this game was the puzzles. The puzzles are a nice challenge. They're really enjoyable. I got stuck on one of the puzzles, and it took me a good almost 30 minutes to figure it out, and that was really what took me the longest in my playthrough. And you just have to be observant. That's what I figured out in this game. You really have to be observant. What happens is you get locked in a room until you solve the puzzle. I really enjoyed that mechanic because it stops you from wandering around to a different area that you're not supposed to be in. So you're locked in a room, and you just have to look around the room, find the clues, be observant, make sure you notice little details, and you'll be able to solve the puzzles. I really enjoyed that, and I found the puzzles to be a nice challenge. The things I didn't like about this game, I already mentioned one, the pathing issue, but the locomotion here is just super slow. There's two types of locomotions. In fact, there's not many options. I believe the only options are, as far as locomotion, whether you want full locomotion or teleportation, and whether you want to skip the tutorial or not. But whether you choose full locomotion or the teleportation, the locomotion is just too slow. So especially towards the end, you really feel like you're dragging on. Even though you're moving at the same pace, it just feels like too slow. At the start, it's okay because you're exploring the house and you're kind of scared, but by the end, you kind of see the whole house and just want to get from one area to the next, and that's when you really feel like you're going too slow. There's the pathing issues. I got stuck on a jar, and it took me a good 3 to 5 minutes to be able to get out of that jar, so there are some pathing issues to be aware of. There's also clipping. Your body will clip through objects, and one thing you'll see here is how you can see through your body. You saw it right there. You'll see through your dress, you'll see your feet, and your body's your avatar's body just doesn't align properly with you. So those are issues to be aware of. I hope those issues get fixed as when the game gets released from early access. And the other issue is during combat, there's this huge lag spike, this huge frame rate drop. You'll see that on the video when it comes up. I'll let you know. And the combat never evolves. So two problems with the combat. One is the lag spike that happens during the combat. At least it happened on my 1060 GTX. But also the repetitive nature. At first, I really liked it. I really liked the combat. I thought it was interesting. The problem was the combat never changed. It was always the same thing. So by the end, it kind of lost its luster. As far as the price versus the amount of content, yeah, you know, it's a little questionable. But I'll say this in favor of the game: it's good content. So it's quality content. There's high production values here. You know, not just all the details in the house, but you know, the story and just everything is well designed. The puzzles. So I think it is worth it for the money. Plus, if the developers keep their promises from early access as far as adding more chapters and completing the story, it'll definitely be worth what they're charging at the moment. So all in all, I'd say it's one of the best VR horror experiences out there. I'm going to give this game a 7 out of 10. And if the developers follow through on their promises from early access, it'll be one of the best values, and I might even have to re-review this game and give it review my score. Maybe it earns a higher score then. Here you see the lag spike I was talking about, the frame rate drop. And then the next spot, you're gonna see your waifu, a nicely modeled spirit. There are a little bit of jump scares in here, but the game doesn't rely on them, and they're just like little mini jump scares. There's not like any like jump scares that'll just jump out of you out of nowhere, so it's not too bad. Again, I do recommend this game. I'm Fast Lawyer. If you like my review, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Have a wonderful day. Goodbye.